Hi, as a request of some students, I will continue some lessons in English medium. So, as a beginning, we will start from Unit 5, Animal Form and Function. So today we will consider about the epithelial tissues in human body. Unit 5, Animal Form and Function. So, let's consider about the animal tissues in human body. Okay. First, we want to identify what's an animal tissue. What's an animal tissue? A group of cells and intercellular substances which consist in an animal body with a common origin and together carry out a specific function is called as an animal tissue. So, let's understand this definition that a group of cells and intercellular substances. It means I'll give an example for you in the left hand corner. In this slide is the blood tissue. Blood tissue is a kind of tissue in human body, animal's body. So, a group of cells. What are the cells in blood tissue? Red blood cells, white blood cells are the cell types of animal blood. Okay. Then intercellular substances are blood plasma is included for intercellular substances which consist of an animal body with a common origin. What's the meaning of that? With a common origin, sometimes you will know that the 16 days old embryo has divided three germinal layers as endodermic, ectodermic and mesodermic. I will discuss later in this lesson about that origin, germinal layers. So, a tissue has a common origin. It means the tissue originated from a same germinal layer. Whether it's endodermic or ectodermic or mesodermic, it has a same origin, same germinal layer. So it has originated from a same germinal layer and together carry out a specific function. For example, this blood tissue do and carry out a specific function as the function is transportation. Hormones, respiratory gases, nutrients, and some medicines also transport through blood tissue. So, like that, every tissue has a common specific function. So, the definition of an animal tissue is a group of cells and intercellular substances which consist of an animal body with a common origin and together carry out a specific function is called as an animal tissue. So let's consider about what are the types of animal tissues. Okay, the major types of animal tissues there are four types. There are epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscle tissues, and nervous tissues. In this diagram, you can find out the common structure, common feature of these four tissues: epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscle tissues, and nervous tissues. Let's consider about what are the basic common characteristics and their functions in our body. Okay. First, in this video, we learned about epithelial tissues. First, we have to know the common characteristics of epithelial tissue. So, what is an epithelial tissue? It covers external surfaces. Epithelial tissue covers external surfaces like our skin, digestive tract. Sometimes you will think that digestive tract may be an internal surface. No, it's an external surface because the mouth and anus also open to the external environment. So The digestive tract is an external surface. So, an internal surface also line up. What are the internal surface? For example, the internal wall of the heart chambers, and lungs, alveoli, and blood vessels are internal surfaces. So, epithelial tissues covers the external surfaces and internal surfaces. This is the common characteristic of epithelial tissue. The cells of tissue are closely packed. Therefore, intercellular substances are very less. So, in epithelial tissue cells are tightly bounded, and cells of the epithelial tissue have both apical and basal surfaces. Let's consider about this picture diagram. There are two surfaces of this cell layers. What are the two surfaces? Apical surface and basal surface. So, apical surface open to the external or internal environment, and the basal surface connected with basement membrane. Basement membrane is not a cellular membrane. It's a proteinous membrane. So, epithelial cells connected with basement membrane in the basal surface, and there is a connective tissue underneath connective tissue to the epithelial cells. So, cells of the epithelial tissue have both apical and basal surfaces. Then, the apical surface remains free. As this diagram, apical surface remains free, and the basal surface attached to the basement membrane. Then, no blood vessels in the tissue. There are no blood vessels in the epithelial tissues. So, you will think that how the cells get energy, how the cells get respiratory gases, nutrients, and how they remove their excretory products from the tissues. So, tissue gets nutrients and oxygen from the blood vessels of underneath connective tissue by diffusion. So, the underneath connective tissue contains blood vessels, but there are no blood vessels in epithelial tissues. So, epithelial tissue cells get nutrients from blood vessels of underneath connective tissue by diffusion. So, also the excretory products of epithelial cells are released to the blood vessels of underneath connective tissue by diffusion, same way. So, epithelial tissues have ectodermic, mesodermic, or endodermic origin because the free surfaces our body have in every places in our body. So, there are three origins: ectodermic, mesodermic, or endodermic origin. Then this is the description of germinal layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. 16 days old embryo shows that layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. This epithelial tissues originates from these three layers, but nervous tissues origin from ectoderm. Muscle tissues and connective tissues mostly originated from mesoderm. So, let's identify the common functions of epithelial tissues. As a resource book, there are three common functions of epithelial tissues. They are protection, secretion, and absorption. Protection, secretion, absorption. Protections: barrier against mechanical injuries, pathogens, barrier against fluid loss. There are protections against epithelial tissues protect the body against mechanical injuries. The skin also You can easily identify the function of protection. They protects against mechanical injuries and pathogens, as well as fluid loss. And secretion. Some epithelial tissues can be identified in glands, so they secrete hormones, and some epitheliums, uh, for example, in digestive tract, they secrete enzymes, and mucus in respiratory tract, they secrete mucus, and sweat also secretion of sweat. Then absorption of nutrients from small intestine. This is an example. The other example is gas exchange through alveoli in lungs. They are related to the function of absorption. These three common functions are given in your resource book, but we can identify another functions of epithelial tissue according to your syllabus. They are exchange of materials, help to transportation, production of gametes, filtration, sensation. Exchange of materials. For example, exchange of respiratory gases through alveoli, and exchange of nutrients and waste at blood capillaries. They are examples for exchange of materials through epithelium. Then, help to transportation. Line in the internal wall of blood vessels. Then, production of gametes. The germinal epithelia of ovary and testes. The germinal epithelia of ovaries produce ovules. The germinal epithelia of testes produce sperms. So, production of gametes, of ovules and sperms. Production of gametes is one of the functions of epithelial tissues. Then filtration. Have you heard about in grade 11 about the Bowman's capsule of nephron? Nephron is the basic unit of kidneys, no? Then filtration of blood in nephron is one of a major function of epithelial tissues. Then sensation. Epithelial of sensory organs such as eyes, ears are an example for and functions that's related to sensation. Then we'll consider about the type of epithelial tissues. There are two main types. There are simple epithelium and compound epithelium. Then what are the types of simple epithelium? The plural word is epithelia. The singular word is epithelium. So, what are the simple epithelia? Simple squamous, simple cuboidal, simple columnar, and pseudostratified. These are the simple epithelia. Then, in your syllabus, we consider about the stratified squamous epithelia as only a compound epithelia, but transitional is an example that's given in your resource book, but we further discuss about only stratified squamous epithelium. So let's identify what are the simple squamous, simple cuboidal, simple columnar, pseudostratified and stratified squamous epithelia. First, simple squamous epithelium. In a diagram, you can identify that cells are very thin, plate-like cells. No? So, we can identify the simple squamous epithelium as a group of single cell layers. Simple epithelia has only this. Four types have only single cell layer. So a group of single cell layer with plate-like cells which located on basal membrane is called as a simple squamous epithelium. So you can draw this diagram in your note. When you are watching this video, you can note down these lessons because I will give you a full note for all the lessons. Already I have given so many single medium lessons for your syllabus. Now I hope to do some videos in English medium. So in this diagram you can see the basement membrane and underneath connective tissue and plate-like epithelial, squamous epithelial cells, nucleus and apical surface. Then it's a very thin and leaky epithelium which are found in places where materials exchange by diffusion. So this epithelium can be found in the materials exchange by diffusion, places where materials exchange by diffusion. What are the examples for material exchange by diffusion? In blood capillaries, alveoli in lungs, internal wall of arteries and veins, lining of the chambers of heart, Bowman's capsule in nephron. These are the examples for the places which the simple squamous epithelium is located. So, the most abundant type of epithelial tissue in human body is this simple squamous epithelium. So in this diagram, you can find out the simple squamous epithelium cell layer. This is the simple squamous epithelial cell layer. Okay. Then simple cuboidal epithelium. What's the definition? You can see that the cells are cubic shaped, so dice shape. So a single cell layer located on a basement membrane with dice-shaped cells specialized for secretion is called as a simple cuboidal epithelium. So you can write down the definition and also the diagram also. Then the single cell layer located on the basement membrane. Cell membranes are tightly bounded. Then a tissue specialized for secretion. So the simple cuboidal epithelium is located mostly in glands. So sometimes there are microvilli on free surfaces of the tissue. In the diagram, I have shown the microvilli, and you can find out the simple cuboidal epithelium layer of this microscopic diagram. This is the simple cuboidal epithelium layer. So it's found in kidney tubules. This is a kidney tubule and many glands, thyroid glands, salivary glands. In this diagram, there are salivary glands here. So they are simple cuboidal epithelial cells. Then other type is simple columnar epithelium. They are column-like, then brick-shaped cells. So a single cell layer located on the basement membrane with large and brick-shaped cells is called as a simple columnar epithelium. So it's often found in places where secretion and active absorption is important. So secretion and active absorption. What are the examples? Secretion and active absorption: intestinal lining, gastrointestinal lining, and fallopian tubes. In fallopian tubes also contain this simple columnar epithelium. Sometimes there are microvilli or cilia found on apical surface. So when there are cilia found in apical surface, we know as ciliated epithelia. Ciliated simple columnar epithelium. So this is two diagrams which located microvilli and cilia. Microvilli in left hand corner. There's in this picture there are microvilli, and right hand side picture you can find out some cilia of simple cell columnar epithelium cells. Then large type of single epithelium are pseudostratified epithelium. There are so many types of pseudostratified epithelium in your syllabus. You have to learn about pseudostratified columnar epithelium only. So, pseudostratified columnar epithelium, there are column-shaped cells, but you identify that all cells are not come to the open area. Some cells only comes to the open apical surface, and some are not. So the nuclei of cells are in different levels. So in microscope we appear several layers, but it's only a single cell layer. So the definition is a tissue consists of a large cell layer located on a basement membrane, which cells of different heights is called as pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Different heights, cells with different heights. So cells are not equal in height. Therefore, every cell cannot found on the apical surface. Nuclei of cells are located at different levels. Appear in light microscope at several layers. In many vertebrates, this epithelium has ciliated cells and also forms a mucous membrane. In this diagram, this is a ciliated epithelium, and also we have labeled that goblet cells. Goblet cells produce mucus. So, in many vertebrates, this epithelium has ciliated cells and also forms a mucous membrane. Cilia helps to sweep the mucus along the surface. For example, in our respiratory tract, the nasal passage and trachea also contains this pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Ciliated pseudostratified columnar epithelium also contain goblet cells, and they make mucus and foreign matters when we are inhaling inhale gas. There are some foreign matters, dust-like particles. They using cilia, the foreign particles slough out from the body. Then last type of the epithelia in your syllabus is compound epithelium. Stratified squamous epithelium. Stratified squamous epithelium. So in this diagram you can find out some different layers, several layers of cells in squamous shape, but the basement membrane contains the first cell layer as basal cells. They divide continuously, rapidly, and they make new cells to the epithelium. So the old cells remove from the body. So for example, in our human skin, we can identify this stratified squamous epithelium. So the definition is a number of layers of squamous epithelial cells located on a basement membrane which are rapidly regenerates is called as a stratified squamous epithelium. So the tissue is composed of number of layers of cells. Rapidly regenerates. Cell division of basal cells. Cell division of basal cells. Cell division of basal cells produces new cells near to the basement membrane. All cells are sloughed off and replaced by the new cells. Found on surfaces where subjected to abrasion such as outer skin, that sometimes the outer skin face some mechanical damages, physical damages. So, subjection to abrasions, places where subjected to abrasions such as outer skin, lining of mouth, lining of anus, and lining of vagina. So, these are the examples which found the stratified squamous epithelium in our human body. So, thanks for watching this video, and let's consider about the connective tissues from next video. Okay, thank you.